How we play musical chairs?
Oh, what's up, guys?
What's that?
Yeah.
So when are you guys going to go to Belgium to meet your biggest fan?
Wow! Belgium?
Yeah, your biggest fan is in Belgium.
Who's that?
Margot. She does more for the Maze Runner movies than I think all of Fox Marketing.
Wow!
Hey. Can I get you guys to look over here, please? Over here. Good.
I was most intrigued to see how our party scene would look. I was very interested to see, but I was a little worried about it. Oh my God, I had that shirt.
I know.
Oh, you do? Oh, that's weird. Okay. That's really funny. I just freaked out. Yeah, the party scene, I was actually really wondering about how that would go, and it was actually, I then remember being blown away by what Wes did with it, even just on the day coming away from it when we were shooting it. I thought it looked really cool, really unique.
Yeah, that and the upside down scene, I wasn't excited to shoot it, but I was excited to see how it would look. When Wes sent out an email to all of us as a cast, he was like, "Hey guys, just start hanging upside down." And of course, none of us did it. And then we get there, and we're actually getting hoisted up all at the same time and hanging upside down. And so it was a bit brutal to go through. I think the longest time was like 4.5 minutes. I think right there, 4.
Did just over 5.
Just over 5 minutes. So it's like literally upside down.
Well, Carlos covered, so I was kind of just passing out.
But just seeing that and visually and seeing what Wes had the idea of bringing the screen was just captivating.
Dylan? So there is a Tumblr devoted to your hands. Are you aware of this? Yeah. It's called, I did some research. It's called DylanO'Brien'shands.tumblr.com.
Did they have his weird thumb in it?
Yeah, there's like a whole thing about it. And so what they did was, this isn't more of a question, this is more of like just letting you know.
Okay.
There's a palm reader app where there were screenshots taken of your hands, and your hands read, "That means you're active and healthy with a positive view on life." And your thumb says you're flexible. And somehow you like music and good food. So that's what the Tumblr taught me about you.
That's all about the thumbs.
That's well, not just the thumb, it was the whole hand. It's a Venus thing that's all, it's a whole, yeah, it's an app you can download. It's called Palm Reader.
Hold my hand app.
Something. But my question for all of you is, where was the weirdest place you found sand?
In Dylan's hands.
Oh,
In the back of my knees.
really?
Yeah, literally. And I was wearing jeans through the whole movie, so I don't know how the fuck that happened. But there was sand at the back of my knees.
Well, speaking of my hands, I had and my weird thumbnail. Since it's a weird thumbnail, often things stay in there for a while. So I believe I still have some dirt from this movie in it.
Oh. Why is your thumbnail weird?
It's weird because it got slammed in a trunk when I was 9 and never grew back to it.
It had pockets.
Yeah, that's because it has little creases. You can get in there. Yeah, I know.
DNA.
Yeah, it kind of. I've always thought it looks like Boba Fett. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it does.
It really does. Can someone just take a picture of it? Actually, no.
That's all I'm talking about.
So we'll do it.
So it seems like in this movie, you guys had more practical sets to work on than you did green screen like in the last movie. Does that help augment your performances?
Yeah, I think Wes Ball, our director, does a great job of giving us things to actually react to. And so he really made a point to like make real cranks. And as much of the scenery, of course, like Albuquerque is just beautiful in general to shoot and to see. We don't get to see all the buildings behind it. That's mostly CGI. But this other stuff, like they did a good job of bringing in false rocks and all those kind of things. And so we had a lot of live things to actually react to. And so that was really cool. But even in the first Maze Runner, I know like the maze itself inside of the building, the Keyhole running, was CGI, but the actual walls that move and open, those are real, like West Side was built. And so the height, of course, was enhanced, but everything else we had to, real things to react to.
Yeah, on this one, I mean, we definitely had more practical stuff to work with, but we also had a lot more visual effects involved too, so it's kind of more both, you know.
Did you shoot some of the stuff for this film previously? I mean, was there any, there was no period out there?
No.
Okay. So.
Interesting though.
Huh?
Did you think that maybe we did?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm not sure.
that's
I
cool.
wasn't sure, because the films came out in such a close
Right.
span of time.
Yeah.
But I know there's one line where you mentioned that she got a little, or you got taller than her at some point. So was that kind of making note of, you know, just.
Do you know what's cool? We wrote that.
Yeah, we did.
And we wanted to add a moment of just humanity. We wanted to smile at each other. So much of our relationship is based around having to survive and get out, and we wanted to just take a second and show a bit of love to each other. And I think it's such a beautiful way of showing us as innocent little kids meeting for the first time.
And her being taller than
And meeting taller than
That's great.
and yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Dylan, I want to ask you about version of leadership. Coming into this sequel, what did you think about Thomas' leadership, and also a parallel to your leadership of your cast members? And what do you hope teenagers learn from Thomas and you as a leader?
Oh man. He's like he's a struggling leader at this point. He's you know, in that he's still trying to lead, and he doesn't want to show anyone what's really going on with him, really. But I mean, I think he's full of doubt at this point, and regret almost, and just question of himself. You know, everything was on his shoulders in his mind. This is all on his shoulders. He made that choice, and now the fact that he could have led them wrong it kills him. But he still has to lead, so it's like he still has to be strong, you know, and that's just a typical conflict inside of him. You know, that's just how I think of it. I don't know, and then you know, with all of us, it's never even think about it. We're just, you know, we just have a great group. We have a great energy. We have a great story that we all love to tell, you know, every time out. So I don't even think there's any ever lack of it. I mean, it comes from all directions. Everyone leads on this movie. And it's, you know, that's why we get it done the way we do, I guess. And that's why we're all so proud of it at the end of the day.
Thomas, on the first movie you said you put a rock in your shoe to help with the limp. Did you do anything like that on this?
It took me a while to realize which side my limp was on. I believe it's on the left. No, I didn't do the wrong thing. I had laces this time, big boots. It's too hard to stick it in. No, I didn't bother. I just acted it.
And for the first movie, Ki-hong, you wrote the runner's manual and the runner's prayer. So I was wondering for all of you guys, if you had to write out an actor's manual or an actor's prayer, what would be on there?
Don't do it.
Stay passionate.
Yeah. Don't get Twitter.
Take risks. That's for sure.
Never give up. We want to
Never surrender.
never give up.
Also, just galaxy class.
How was working with Wes again? Or is it more confident than before? I mean, after the first one?
You know, he's such a dick. What's amazing about Wes is that, you know, he goes out and makes his first feature film, you know, and it, you know, gets success with it too, and coming back for the second one, he's getting more money to work with too, more freedom, a little more time, you know, because of the success of the first one, and he didn't change a bit.
No.
From his personality to the way he talks to us, or the way he talks to everyone on set,
Same
his
hat.
demeanor, same hat,
Same fucking
exactly,
hat.
down to the same
Same
sweaty
hat.
hat, you know,
Yeah.
whereas he's just, and that just completely exemplifies him. He's just a regular dude who really understands and loves storytelling and films, and he's visually genius, and he's an artist, man. He really is, and he just knows how to tell a story. What the hell did I start?
He's
That was
true.
good.
He's true. Yeah,
What was that? Okay,
He's
I got
true.
it.
Yeah, he's truly one of those guys who leads by example, you know, and I think he kind of sets the tone. I mean, as well as Dylan, you know, he's on set every day too, and so it's just like we show up to set every day and we look at Wes Ball and how he still has energy, how he's still passionate about making this movie, and not that we all aren't, but there's days, you know, when we're tired and we look at Wes and he's been there all day, all night, and then goes home and goes to the editing room, and he's still got that smile on his face and he's still ready to work, and so that's another thing that inspires us constantly to just keep going.
Yeah, he's a kid in a candy store.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
for real. He's having a blast.
Yeah.
And when you see him so enthusiastic from the beginning of the day till the end of the day, that inspires us as actors to give him the movie like 110% every time. So it's a real inspiration. We love working with him.
It's never a burden for him how much he works. He
Yeah.
genuinely just loves to do it, and he does not stop. He always goes. And as actors, it is so much better. I mean, if I could work with a guy like that every time versus a guy who wants to go home even on one given day. You know, if you're the director, I'm sorry, but you cannot do that ever. You can't be someone standing around going, man, come on, we're gonna get out of here. Like, come on, let's get it. And Wes you gotta rip the camera out of the guy's hands, and that's what you want. You know.
What are some of the stunts you're most proud of?
Sand dune running.
Getting it off the sand dune.
Yeah, running up that sand dune. That's really us. You know, that's not CGI. That's not special effects. That's not stunt doubles. That's us running up them sand dunes. And so.
You needed the chest. What do you think?
Oh yeah.
The chest is so
I think you got a chance. That was pretty cool.
You guys had boot camp training, didn't you?
Um,
Or some training?
We try to downplay this all day. 'Cause it's not, everyone
we turned up for 2 hours in the morning.
So
training like Marine.
we went 2 weeks prior to shooting, and we trained with stunt coordinators, and we ran 5 miles. We would do sprints in the
I
sand
can run
dunes
5
and go like up like the hills and stuff like that. And then and tell them Dex, what's the altitude like?
Well, I'm shooting in Albuquerque. It's a mile-high city, so it's
How many feet? How many feet?
200 feet above sea level. At
Okay.
times, it would be like 7,600 feet.
Okay.
8,000 feet
That's
above
high.
sea level.
That's high.
Super high. So it's hard to get oxygen. You know, your muscles get tight.
Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated.
What did you carb load on?
Say it again.
Go ahead.
What did you carb load on then?
Rice.
Rice?
Yeah, I
loves rice.
I literally eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Brown or white?
Oh, brown, white, yellow.
He doesn't discriminate.
Rice, unity.
We're still talking about rice, right?
No rice sits in the backseat of this bus, let me tell you.
With the new cast on the
Accidents on
sequel.
set? Accidents? Were there any
Oh yeah, we got minor scrapes and bruises, and I mean it's just an
You don't
effort
get
when you're
surgery.
shooting.
You know what happened?
You are
He
crazy.
had an appendectomy, and then he had to shoot when he gets tasered and dragged off the thing.
It's amazing.
No,
You
we.
got hurt on the first one too, so you're injured on the second one as well?
I guess I'm just injury prone.
No,
I often
it's
hear that. If like you're a professional athlete, would you be injured?
I don't know. I think I would. Yeah, he's always on the injury reserve.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like a guy you want to play, but he can't really
Exactly.
play.
Exactly.
You said that your wrist was, you injured your wrist, or it was already, you came in with it?
Yeah. I had injured it a few weeks earlier playing softball. 'Cause that's what I love to do. And yeah, I sprained my wrist, and so then I just kept re-injuring it on Maze Runner, which was on Scorch, so it was annoying me. I randomly punched something with the other wrist.
With the new cast coming in, and Kaya particularly, you're a big Game of Thrones fan. So
Yeah, man, I was
Fangirl out over Aiden.
I freaked out. Every time they'd announce someone, I'd go, yes, Wes, thank you. It was cool. They were all such cool guys, especially Natalie. She's been one of my favourite people for a long time. She's a very nice gal. And so to get to have her in the movie was cool. Both from England, we both started on similar kind of TV shows that weren't that big, but had kind of cult followings, and I've always really rooted for her. And then to just see her getting to do something like this, I was so happy for her. But I already know everything from Game of Thrones because I forced Thomas to tell me what's going to happen.
I think the funniest thing was to see them all meet each other.
Yeah, for the first time.
I was like, I don't know him.
They're like, yeah, hey, good to meet you.
Hey, you're on our show.
We're on the same show.
The
movie was seriously intense, so for each of you guys, what's the most badass moment out of the whole thing?
He owns me to the chest.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was banging, man.
Needs to just in money.
Baseball slide.
Baseball slides though. Hanging upside down,
Upside down.
for sure.
The glass breaking.
Oh, the glass breaks in the trailer?
Yeah.
Is
I love it. This is, and it's not even a moment really. It was just what I loved to do on set. We did one where Rosa's getting me out of there, and they're shooting at us, the way guys, and they shoot all these bullets through the window as we're running by. And it was really scary. I didn't understand how because the guys have paintball guns, and they have these zerks that they shoot that then go psst, like when they hit. And I mean, it's, you know, it's a paintball gun, like coming through glass. And they can't really, you can only see our shadows going through. And then they were just gonna basically shoot a bunch and miss us the whole time. And I was like, well, how are you gonna, I didn't understand, and I wasn't gonna get hit. It was really scary for me. And I remember afterwards looking at the shot, being like, oh my God. I was geeking out, I don't know.
And the lightning scene came out really cool too. When we wake up and we're running from the lightning storm and Minho gets struck. Like that looked really cool. And that was cool too because on the day we tried shooting a couple and Wes was telling us like where we were going to react to, and I don't think it was coming off as real and as natural as he wanted. So we did one take, or two takes I think, when they would just kind of go off at random. And they were like little fireworks, they weren't really big things, but even when they go off, you get that pop, you know, it's a natural reaction to kind of react to. And so that was really cool.
Yeah, you would go, oh shit!
Yeah, that was you know, like just scream at the little girl.
We have time for one last question.
Dylan, during the first movie, you said that you got really comfortable with Wes Ball like touching your eye and helping you clean your
Oh yeah.
So, in what other ways did he help you out during this workout?
You guys never even know that?
No, I
never did. It was one day when I was hanging on the vine wall for like 8 hours, and they didn't ever want to let me down because it would just take too long. And so I was just hanging there, you know, and hanging out. And Wes would come over and keep me company. And I kept getting stuff in my eyes because I had to look up for shots. But every time the vine wall shook, you know, stuff and twigs would fall out. I kept getting little things in my eyes, and then Wes would literally just come over, take it out for me. And the first time he did it, I was so freaked out. But then it just became like he would come over and be like, right there, okay, got it. It was so cool.
Did he do anything like that for you in the Scorch Pass, or for any one of you?
I don't know. Wes always helps me up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll get down too on myself or whatever, for whatever reason, anytime, ever, and he gets me that kind of, I mean, it's not a better energy to work for,
Yeah.
than that guy.
The good thing about Wes, the cool thing about Wes is because he's so good with special effects, everybody thinks he's great with just the big moments. But he's also great with like those little small intimate moments that kind of mean a lot to us as actors and castmates. And like, I remember there was a campfire scene that I had, and we had just gone through something, and Wes just came over to me and just gave me a quick little pep talk before I had to go and get all emotional. And it was just really small, really intimate, but it was kind of something that meant a lot to me, just as an actor, and so like just as a person too, just for him to be able to get down on my level and relate with me.
I think it's cool is he knows, especially getting an opportunity to do a second movie with them, he knows how we individually work as actors.
Yeah.
He knows how to approach us, he knows what our strengths are, he knows how, you know, he knows which ones prefer having the first shot or the last shot, and that is so invaluable to have a director that just knows you. And with me especially, I struggle with directors sometimes. I'm so particular about a lot of how I work, and Wes just knows it, and I can get on set. With our big scene, he was like, what do you need? And we'll do it how you need to do it, and make it work. And especially on the huge movies like this, you don't get that opportunity.
No,
it's like, go here, do this right next. Right. And he still takes the time to make it personal.
Yeah,
Like I keep saying, and I'm going to get it tattooed on me, I'm going to, what is it, pain is temporary, film is
Film is
forever.
forever.
And that's our motto now.
Didn't he steal that from somewhere?
No, it was his.
Is it?
Don't break my heart.
James Cameron or Spielberg.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
Well, good. I'm gonna get tattooed.